Assetto Corsa EVO has officially dropped the early access 0.3 release featuring our first Formula 1 car. So let's check it out and let's see what's in store. Now, the last time we covered the game was a couple of months ago when the first early access dropped, and we've done a few races, a bit of testing in that one. But today is going to be our debut with open wheelers. Now, as you guys know, my channel is based around F1 content, F1 gameplay. So this video is going to be me covering the Ferrari F2004 car, which is one of my all-time favorites, possibly my all-time favorite and the most iconic looking Formula 1 car ever. Now, the good thing about this car is we have a reference. This car was actually in the original Assetto Corsa, which I recently drove about a month ago, and we're going to have a pretty good chance to compare the two and give my thoughts on this early version in this game. Now, before we jump into the gameplay, let's quickly cover what this update has in store and what we're going to do in this video. So we begin with new features. We have multiplayer, which is now in this, but that's been very controversial because it isn't what people hoped for. Updated tyre model, augmented audio features, new MFD multifunctional display, and 1000 Hz damping algorithm. In terms of improvements, graphics have been improved, there's been more optimizations brought in, UI improvements, and camera improvements also. Now, in terms of the content, we've got a bunch of new cars, including the F2004, and we have Spa and Austria, the Red Bull Ring. So those two are going to be on the agenda today. Now, what I want to do for this session is essentially try the car at 4 different F1 tracks. The plan is to do the brand new additions, so Spa and the Red Bull Ring, and we're going to add that to the already existing Imola and Suzuka, bringing us to 4 circuits. We do have Kota, but the F2004 never raced on that track. I want to do the 4 tracks that the car has raced on to have some kind of lap time reference and just see how things compare relative across eras and years. But yeah, what I did last week as the reference, and I want to try and recreate that today, was 4 10-minute practice sessions, and within those I try to get the best lap possible within that time frame. Minimal setup work, driving the car baseline to try and get a feeling and see how quick it really is. I will say the opening menu is really nice. Now, I want to put out a quick disclaimer. I actually did this video last week, but I had some audio trouble which ruined the video. It was not unwatchable, but I wasn't happy with it. I might play a sample now if I still have the recording, but there was like a weird sort of drain pipey, echoey sound, which when you're racing a V10 F1 car, you don't really want that. Now, full disclaimer, I don't know why. I've tried to record this video now on 2 separate days. I've had the same issue as day 1. I don't know why. Maybe in the comments you guys can help. I have this weird sound issue, which you're going to hear throughout the video. So I apologize, but I have no clue how to fix it. So hopefully it's watchable. It doesn't sound perfect, but it's sort of manageable. But I do apologize, but I don't know what the answer is. I've been trying for 2 separate recording days to fix this issue, so I don't have an answer. So that's going to be in the video the whole way through, so I do apologize for that. So let's get straight into it. Now, we have a selection of tracks here, as you can see, and we're going to get stuck in and see just how it goes. Now, one thing to note, I have loaded up the recommended Fanatec preset for the wheel for the force feedback, running no assists, so let's get straight to it. Right, here we go then. We're in practice. We have a 10-minute, well, now 9.5-minute timer. I've assigned all my buttons, so let's go on track and let's give this a go. Might have stalled it. Right, I think I figured it out now. I've restarted the session because we only have 10 minutes, but everything should be working now. We hold the clutch. I forgot what my clutch button was, but we're away. Right, let's see exactly what this is like. Now, we have the track set to fast, not optimal conditions. I want a bit of a struggle. The rev limiter sounds pretty damn short. Also, the brakes feel very powerful already. Interesting noise there down to the first gear. This is legit my first lap, so I'm learning here on the fly. I will say the curbs feel very, very unique. You can probably hear the force feedback as well. Very prominent, very aggressive, but here we go. Let's give it some beans for our first proper lap here at the Red Bull Ring. Oh, looks like we're taking the 2003 line here at turn 1. Back when it was the A1 ring. So track limit warning up towards turn 2. Car stops really well, just it doesn't have the downforce you would expect. Obviously groove tyres, not the best track conditions, default setup. There's actually more grip on the front than you think, but then you sort of lose that grip at certain points. Like turn 1 didn't feel good. But yeah, able to push this car out of the box pretty well right away. Turn 9. And then turn 10. Really trying to test these curbs. I feel like the car sound just changed through there. There we go, we get turn 1 this time. We'll use up a good chunk of this practice to try and get a couple of laps under our belt. We'll go for a flying lap at the end. Ooh, a little bit of rear locking there, but we take that in our stride. Got the bias set to 56, we can adjust it. It feels surprisingly intuitive. Right, we've got our first lap then, 109.8. Oh, that's wide. Okay. Let's get a reference time. Let's go and look at the past archives. Now, I'm not sure if we have other cameras. Yes, we do. So we've got the onboard, of course, the cockpit view. So SEM cameras as always. Do we have F6 cameras? Yes, we do. So we do get some extra options available. So we'll do a bit of car setup work and see what we can come up with. And now, I'm not going to go too in depth. For the tyres, all we can change, according to this, from what I can tell, is pressures, not the actual compound. We've got electronics there, we've got traction set to 5. I think if we open it up, 4 will give us a bit less traction. I think. Yep, the camera's moving as they're working on the car. Right, fuel strap, we'll bump that fuel down a little bit. Why not? Let's have some fun. We've got softs on the front and the rear already, so nothing we can do there. I'm going to pop these roll bars down a little bit, a bit more oversteer. I'm happy to have that. On the rear, not so much, but for the front, definitely a bit more turning. The bias is at 56, so I'll put it at 55. I'll put the front wing down by a click, and we'll put the rear down by a couple more. I'll drop the ride height a little bit, but not a lot. I feel like we're riding the curbs pretty hard, so we'll go just a click on the front and 2 on the rear. So with the arrow keys, you can zoom in or zoom out. Right, away we go. Come on then. A little bit of wide of the apex there as we fought to get the car stopped. Slightly up as we head uphill towards turn 2 and turn 3. Oh, that's around. That's around, and that's the lap over, pretty much. The gears are way too long for this one. Interestingly, in the old A1 ring days, Michael Schumacher got pole in 2003. Now that is with race fuel. He did a 1 minute 09.1. His best lap in the race was a 1 minute 08.3. So considering we literally had 2.5 laps there, that's not actually that bad. So obviously this car is a year newer. The 2004 car was really dominant as well, so you have to factor that in as well. But pretty easy to get on pace and sort of get dialed in right away. So time to switch. We were at the Red Bull Ring. I think it's time for a bit more F1 heritage. So we're going to go for Suzuka. Why not? Suzuka. Then I think we go to Imola, Ferrari home turf, and then we try Belgium, of course, the last track in this update. The first thing I want to talk about is the sounds. Now, there's a weird sort of click when you upshift, which I don't like. That. It's a small noise, but it's very off-putting. It doesn't happen on the downshift, but on the upshift, it's just not very nice. But that aside, let's talk about the sounds. That's the first thing I want to start with here. Actually insane. Like the level of detail in the sounds. The best thing about this car is the off-board replays, which I'll show you at a later stage. But insane. Also the way the noise, as you just heard there, kind of bounces off objects is also a really cool feature. But the plan for this is to basically do a few laps consecutively and build up our confidence, and then we'll take the fuel out, put some more quality base settings on, and go for a fast lap at the end. So let's give this a go. First lap of the day. I believe track would be set to the quickest. Lots of understeer as we head into the S's. Down to second gear. So same as the warm-up lap, formation lap, just trying to build up the temperature, but it's not really giving me any more grip right now as we head up through Dunlop. I can feel so much power on understeer, like it's ridiculous. Like if you want to get this car to turn, you have to let go of the throttle entirely and let the car coast and sort of rotate with the engine braking, because the minute you put the power down, the front end just washes out. Like that's probably the biggest drawback of this car, is how much the front washes. It's insane. Probably too much. Like it makes it not fun to drive at times. So you have to just basically let the car roll through corners. It's really depressing in a way, and not how this car should be driven. This car is worthy of being driven. But that's my biggest drawback, I'd say. It's the power on understeer. It's really noticeable in this car. First lap though, let's see what we get. Down to first. Note to self, do not use first gear unless you can change the gearbox, which you cannot do in the setup menu. First gear is way too short and second gear is too long, so the difference between the two causes the rear to lock. First lap, 33 or 36.4, sorry. Have to work on that a little bit. Traction control doing its job. Out turn 2 there. You have to really time it well when you put the throttle on to try and increase your corner speed a little bit. The car wants to drift. There is some oversteer there baked underneath. This is a better lap. 7/10 up. By the way, the curbs are extremely detailed in both feeling and sound. Oh, bit of oversteer again there. The traction didn't bail me out. I was kind of drifting through the hairpin. But yeah, first gear is no bueno, basically. Let's try and get this lap done without any mistakes if possible. You have to really time your downshifts at a good time as well. Out of spoon. Nearly 1.5 seconds up as we head towards the chicane. We'll take it in second gear this time. We also only just brake 7th gear, like we're nowhere near the rev limit. Oh, big lock up on the way in there. That's going to hurt us a little bit. Watch the exit. Let the traction control help out. And that is going to be a 1.3 second improvement for 135.1. We'll try and squeeze one more lap out. That was better through there. Turning in much earlier for Dunlop. Tighter line. Cutting the first Egner also way more. Let's avoid relocking here. Into the hairpin. Leaving it in second gear. Probably not ideal, but we'll just gain throughout because of it. Into the last chicane. I could feel the front and the rear locking there, but that was a lot better. Right, up to the line. Good improvement. 34.3. Right, let's make some setup adjustments and go for one last flying lap. We're not going to make too many massive adjustments. We do have quite a bit here in terms of setup menu. I want to basically just drop the fuel out, which we'll put to half. So we'll go from 30 to 15 litres. And then really all I'll do here is lower the ride height a little bit and do some wing. I think I'll put a bit of wing on the front. I'll do one more, I'll do 2 clicks up, and I'll put the ride height down a little bit on each. But that's it. I won't go too extreme on setup work. I think we just have to drive it better. I'll make a small adjustment on bias as well. Right, let's give it a shot then. This could go really good or really bad. Either way, let's get to it. I hate how the car drifts a lot as well. I'm not too sure if that's really accurate. You can hear the drifting all the time, but here we go. Let the V10 sing away for a bit. That was good. That was a decent lap. I mean, it wasn't perfect. Hairpin ran deep. Also, F1 track limit violation at Spoon, but because this is a GT game, I believe the track limit applies to the edge of the curb rather than the white line. So that's why my lap didn't get invalidated. So 33.4 with an asterisk, we'll take it. All good. I do believe that lap more or less is accurate because what we gain by running wide at Spoon by track limit extension, we sort of lost at the hairpin. So if you kind of cancel them out, it more or less adds up. So I'm now going to show you the best thing for me of this game right now for this car in this update. And that is the replay off-board sound. Genuinely incredible. Let's go to Italia next. Let's go to Imola. Andiamo. Let's get to it then. Imola time. Straight away I'm going to put that bias up to 57. I felt it was quite nice on the front, but looks like we can't really mess around with the wing levels too much. This one's going to be probably the biggest skill gap of the entire video. Very technical circuit, medium speed, lots of curbing, change of direction, stop start. There's a lot to this one, so I feel like we might learn a lot in this 10 minutes. Yep, already. Too aggressive on the downshift, too aggressive, too quick down to first gear, which automatically puts you in a rear lock. Away we go. Let's let the V10 sing on home turf. I know what that sound effect is now, because the sound bounces off the walls, so you get a slightly different sound profile through Tamburello. Having to wait quite a while to get the power down. Bottoming out on the curb as we head into Villeneuve. Third gear for the first, second through the second part, now to the hairpin. Going to keep it in second this time as we look to get a good exit. There we go. Not so bad this one. Up towards Piratella, turn 9. A little bit wide there at the apex. Expecting modern car downforce on a 20-year-old machine. Acqua Minerale. Second gear, use all that curb on the way out. Up towards the Variante Alta, here we go. That brake bias adjustment is so much better. Feels a lot more consistent now. Right, down to the Turazzas, down to second gear again. Braking a little bit early, the curb's kind of dragging me out a little bit, interestingly. Second one, having to wait to get the power down. And then we open it up towards the start-finish. Line's a bit further down than in the F1 game. There it is. Right, first lap, 21.1. That was nice. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yep, looking very good so far. A little bit wide at Tosa, but we can sort of recover that. Lots of power on understeer through there though. Almost feels like if you go offline, you've got no grip at all. Ran wide here last time. This time we do get our apex and there's way more grip. We're going to recover that time. You really want to just send the car in there, but you have to be cautious. Good lap so far, this one. A little bit deep into the chicane. We managed to recover it just about. We do lose a little bit of time as a result. Trying to push the braking there, lost a 10th. Oh, and I feel like I'm blocking the fronts quite a bit, but at least I'm getting a consistent experience out of the car. I lost a little bit in that last sector, but it's a much better second lap. That'll drop us into the 1:20s. Obviously, we can't really compare to the 2004 season because the track layout is different, but that's an 8/10 haircut into a 1:20.6. Now, for reference, that lap felt pretty good, 1:20.6, but I mean, Piastri this season, 1:14.6, 6 seconds quicker. Obviously, there's a lot to account for. I'm going to try a few things now, though. Now, all I want to do here is take fuel out, and we'll go for 15 litres, and the wing, I'll go up, but I'm going to keep it the same. So hopefully that should keep the car stability intact. I'll also go down the brake bias a little bit in car. So I've got 56 right now. I'll go 55.6 and we'll see if that will do the trick. I don't want it too on the rear so that we don't start losing the rear or rear locking or sliding. So I think this will produce better results. Right, I think we're just going to be avoiding first gear on this one, even for the chicane. So let's give it a crack. Let's see if this is the one where we finally get a decent lap together. But to be fair, we already have a decent lap, but let's try and at least get into the 1:19s. Here we go. Good start. Come on, let's keep it moving. Quite a bit of understeer on the power there, but we find time overall. Come on, let's keep it moving again. Oh, bit wide. Okay, we've got time for another one, so we'll try and get back around and give that another crack. I like how every track so far has different curb handling. They're all unique in their own way. Quite a cool experience, quite different. But this is it. This is going to be our last chance. Traction control doing its job, helping us out there. There's so much power on understeer that you just have to kind of let the car roll through the corner and let the engine brake you around and rotate the car. Look at that. That's a much better toaster hairpin. You just let the car roll and coast. And that will give you the downforce you need. The minute you put the power on, you just get the understeer. Wide again. Damn, that's a shame. I'll push on even though it's track limit warning. Through the hairpin. That was good. Figured that one out on the outlap. A little bit wide on the exit, but you can see there's a good chunk of time to be found. 2 corners to go. Trying to attack that first curb. We ran a bit wide though. It's a scruffy end. Out the last corner. Right. Well, that gives you a bit of an idea. Obviously, when we started pushing, we started making mistakes, but to be fair, it was a good knowledge, good practice. 1:19.7, I reckon there's more. A clean lap, probably a high 18, which gets us about 4 seconds off maybe Piastri's time at best with a fairly default setup. So that was the best one yet. We now go to the last one. For this one, I might up the practice time because it's a very long outlap. So I'll give myself 12 minutes, 2 extra minutes, just to try and get, you know, an outlap out of the way. Now, this is the one that I'm most looking forward to. My favorite all-time car, favorite all-time track. We get a track limit warning, so the pit exit is a little bit bugged out, but we'll turn a blind eye. I love the way the car and helmet drops and then kind of climbs back up over Radion. Does the car kind of flick around here at the bus stop if you turn in? No, it feels fairly planted. Right, come on then. Out the box, out the gate. Let's give it some. No idea where to brake. That'll do though. You can just hear that first to second shift. It's very long. It's so delayed. There's a massive cut in the engine. Oh yeah, already flat through there. Love it. I'm going to drop the second actually. Again, just lacking the downforce, I feel like. Pull on. I'll take a downshift. Yeah, just about within track limits. We'll take it. Stavlo did third last time. We'll drop to second instead. Oh wow, that's not flat. At least I don't think it is. I had to lift, and maybe I need to get really tight to the inside. That was a surprise. Stavlo 2 caught me out. Bit of rear locking there. Again, that downshift to first is killing me, but you need it through the bus stop. Right, first lap. It's 1:49.0. Let's go again. Try second gear through there until they come. This time we do get our apex. Pull on. That felt nice. Super responsive on the front end. Still carrying that 4/10 advantage. Carrying way more speed into this chicane this time. Alright, let's sort these two out. Don't want to run so wide through here on the exit. No, that's not flat. I don't feel comfortable taking that flat. I mean, we kept it tight, probably took a bit too much of a shortcut and took a bit too much inside curb, but at least, you know, we've got through. We're a second up, so we have gained quite a bit. We'll try second gear for the bus stop. That first gear just cuts the car, makes the rear come around. Now we'll drop to first. That's better. Up to the line, 48.0, so we shave a second off. Right, 6 minutes to go. Let's make some adjustments and let's see what we can really do around here. Right, same again. We're just going to drop the fuel. Very simple adjustments. And for the wing, I will just put a click on the front and a click on the rear. I want more downforce. I want to be able to go quicker through the middle sector. For the ride height, I actually feel this is quite a flat track. I didn't do this at Imola, to be fair, but we'll do it now. We'll go down by 2 clicks on both. Not a lot. Subtle adjustments. There's something missing, and I can't put my finger on it. Like, I'm lacking a bit of feeling constantly in the force feedback, or something to really make me feel connected to the car. It's almost like I feel the external elements more than the car itself. So I'm feeling the curbs, the road surfaces, you know, the gearing changes, the traction control, if we slide, drift, you know, lock up, whatever it may be. I'm feeling the external elements more than the car itself. You know, the road, the bumps in the road, the level changes, the camber. It's hard to explain and put my finger on it exactly. Anyway, let's go for a lap, shall we? Brake bias at 56. I will just knock it to 56.2 as we begin a proper lap. Here we go. So down to first, delaying it a little bit, a bit of rear drifting into the corner, but that worked well. Turning in to Lecom. Quite a bit of understeer there, I'm feeling it big time, but we're up. To Rivage, or Bruxelles, I believe. No name, okay. You just have to lift the throttle, like in Imola. You just have to lift the throttle and let the car roll. It will engine brake and give you rotation. If you put the throttle down mid-corner, you're going to understeer. So you almost have to like carry a lot of speed in, but not too much to the point where you know, will understeer off track. I took a very slight lift there, just a very slight one through Stavlo 2 to just get the nose to bite into the corner, and as a result we could just floor it all the way through, and we've gained so much time. Right, bus stop to go. We're just going to send into that first one. Oh, never mind. Back end gets loose. We'll try and pull it back to correct the lap and go for another attempt. Right, let's try again. That was nice. That was the best one yet. This is improving on the previous lap, by the way, so we're going even quicker. But you can see right there, we just send it into the corner, lift, and the car rolls. That's a bit wide this time through there. Lost a little bit of time, all good though. That was nice. There's the little mini lift again. That's the trick. Right, let's just try and keep this bus stop in one piece. If we cross the line in time, I'll try and go for another lap, but it's going to be close. Can't afford any mistakes. Oh no, I'm out of fuel. Oh, that's criminal. That is absolutely criminal, and it still spun anyways. Oh, that's gutting. Good fun though. Anyway guys, there we go. This is the end of my second day of recording. I did just redo Suzuka entirely and actually did it better, but I had the same sound issue again, so the video is going to be that's going to be the video. I still have the same thoughts. It's a car which has a lot of good potential and the game feels really nice. Like you're getting that 10-year difference, I'd say, of advancement to curb physics, track physics, handling. It comes through, but the core car itself doesn't feel that great, and actually the car from 10 years ago feels better in Assetto Corsa 1. So yeah, overall a car which has huge power on understeer, which essentially for me ruins the experience of the car. The braking and the sliding is a bit inconsistent, it's hard to really judge. So it's really hard to get a handle for this car and know if it's good or not. So I want to hear your comments, guys. What do you think? Comment down below. And yeah, apologies again for the sound trouble. I'd still appreciate a like on the video and subscribe for more. I didn't have this in the AC1 preview. So again, it is an early access 0.3. So it's like the early access of the early access, which leads me to believe maybe there's a sound bug possibly, but I'm sure I can fix it. But either way, I don't have the answer right now and I don't know where to start. So yeah guys, just for watching. A massive shout out to my channel members for supporting the channel and the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and that's goodbye from me. Ciao, ciao.